Good evening, honored rabbis, esteemed dais guests, and generous supporters of the Friends of the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah. Being a part of this extraordinary gathering tonight reminds me of the obligations that grow out of leading an uplifted, Torah-imbued way of life. The Hebrew prayer book known as the Siddur contains all the blessings, prayers, and praise unto the Almighty that have been accumulated over generations. It forms the collective consciousness, the eternal yearnings, and the inner soul of our people. The very first words of this prayer book comprise a short, succinct, and remarkable passage. It begins in Hebrew, Modeh ani lifanecha. I express my gratitude before you. It is recited each morning as our eyes open after a restorative and restful night's sleep. We begin each new day by expressing our thanks to the Almighty for the gift of life, for the wisdom and talents He bestows upon us, endowing us with the ability to meet the challenges that we face each and every day of our lives. We thank Him for our families, the special circle of colleagues and friends that we are blessed with, and for how they help us and guide us to achieve our goals and motivate us to become caring members and productive citizens of this, our beloved country, the United States of America. Tonight, as I open my eyes and gaze across this ballroom, I too say, Modeh ani lifanecha, how incredibly grateful we are. Our hearts are filled with extraordinary thanks to the Almighty and tremendous gratitude to all those in this ballroom who give so generously in both resources and time and friendship to support the thousands of students and adults who enter the holy portals of the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah. As I look across this amazingly diverse communal mosaic of thousands of guests from all walks of life in this great city and state, I see compassion and friendship. I see leadership and commitment. Although it is nearly impossible to thank all those who deserve recognition, please allow me to single out a number of individuals to whom we owe special thanks this evening. To our General Dinner Chairman, Ford Motor Company CEO, Mr. Jim Hackett. Whose entire career has been dedicated to uplifting and encouraging those around him to do better and find positive ways to improve lives. We offer our heartfelt thanks to you, Mr. Hackett, for your presence and support here tonight. May your actions tonight encouraging Ford Motor Company to renew and continue its support of the work of the Yeshiva bring great merit and success to America's great automobile company and to you as its Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Hackett, please allow us to present to you a very small token of our esteemed gratitude, a 2015 Ford Mustang. It's actually Jim, it's a little smaller than the usual version and a bit cheaper, but it will easily fit on the desk in your great office. Thank you again to all of you, to Ford Motor, for all you have done for us, and to you personally. Thank you, Jim. To Senator Cory Booker for joining us this evening as our guest speaker. You are one of our country's most dedicated and talented public servants, and we are extraordinarily grateful to you for joining us here in Detroit at the Beth Yehudah dinner. I have a small gift, a token of our gratitude to you as well. Since I know that you read Hebrew so well, I am giving you a most impressive Hebrew volume of the Torah.
Oh my gosh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
To Governor Rick Snyder, thank you for your special support and your dear friendship for the Yeshiva, both during your days as a private citizen before you were governor and now as the governor of the great state of Michigan. We thank you for your lifetime of devotion to the education of the wonderful young people of our state and your devoted efforts as the chief executive of the state of Michigan. You have done a remarkable job, and we're grateful to be your friend. Thank you. We also welcome to our dais tonight the Lieutenant Governor, Brian Calley, who recently took his time and spent a morning touring our institution and visiting with the children of the Yeshiva. We offer you our heartfelt thanks for your commitment to the welfare of all of Michigan's citizens and for your commendable efforts on behalf of the Yeshiva. Thank you, Brian. To the great mayor of the city of Detroit, Mayor Mike Duggan, you have achieved enormous success as the chief executive of our great city. Every day under your tutelage, Detroit sees greater and greater promise. We look forward to your continuing efforts to uplift and encourage every citizen of Detroit. We thank you for being here tonight, for your special friendship, and for the amazing job you are doing as the mayor of the city of Detroit. Thank you. To Judge Bill Schuette, our state's Attorney General, how appreciative we are for your history of devoted support and friendship for the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah year after year, and for being such an important participant on our dinner program every year here. Thank you for your lifetime of public service in the judiciary, in Congress, in our state, and being the chief lawyer for the state of Michigan. We truly appreciate everything that you do. Thank you. Also with you tonight, Bill, is your incredibly talented Deputy Attorney General, Matthew Schneider, who we welcome here for the first time at our dinner. Thank you both for being here and for all you do for the state of Michigan. To our devoted and successful county leadership, our Oakland County and very special prosecutor, Judge Jessica Cooper, Deputy Oakland County Prosecutor Paul Walton, Oakland County Treasurer Andy Meisner, Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard, and Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon. And to our County Executive Warren Evans, thank you, Warren, for the remarkable job you have done to lift up all of the citizens of Wayne County. What an incredible array of talented leaders all of you are, who give in so many different capacities a lifetime of service to our counties and our state. Thank you all very much for everything you're doing. We are most appreciative of your attendance here this evening. To the Chief Judge of our federal court, Judge Denise Page Hood, thank you for your kind participation tonight and for your incredible leadership in our federal judiciary. You are doing an amazing job, and we can't thank you enough for your leadership in our state. Thank you also to the special members of the federal bench here this evening, Judge Sean Cox, Judge Mark Goldsmith, Judge Stephen Murphy, and Judge Terry Berg. And to our county and district judges, Judge Shalina Kumar, Judge Denise Langford Morris, Judge Michelle Friedman Apple, Judge Deborah Nance, Judge Sheila Johnson, and Judge Demetria Brew, thank you all for your participation and attendance this evening and for everything you do for our state. Thank you. To our senior Michigan United States Senator Debbie Stabenow, you have been a consistent and dear friend of the Yeshiva and a remarkable advocate for our state and for all the citizens of the United States of America. You are a public servant par excellence, and we offer you our deepest gratitude for all you do to enhance the success of this dinner and every dinner year after year for nearly 15 years, and for your lifetime of devotion to the citizens of Michigan. Thank you, Senator Stabenow. To Senator Gary Peters, we are extremely grateful for your presence this evening and for being such an important and vital leader in our state and our county. Thank you for participating in our program tonight. Thank you for all you're doing in Washington to represent the interests we hold so central to the lives of the citizens of our country, and of course, for your dear friendship and all you do. Thank you, Gary. To our esteemed dinner leadership, David Fisher, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Great Suburban Collection. To Mark Davidoff, the Managing Partner of Deloitte. To Mr. Neil Schluss, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Mobility, I like your new title, at Ford Motor Company. To Jimmy Settles, the Vice President of the UAW, Peter Remington of the Remington Group, and our newest and most special, Matt Lester, the Chairman of our dinner. Thank you so much. The Yeshiva is incredibly fortunate to have merited the collective support and friendship of each of you. You deserve the heartfelt gratitude of both the Yeshiva and our entire community. And Matt, we appreciate all you do, not only for the Yeshiva, but for the community and our federation as well. Thank you. Our special thanks to all of you and to all the folks in this room for the support of the Yeshiva and for all the leadership that you bring. To our newest dinner chairman here tonight, Huntington Bank CEO, Mr. Steve Steinauer, Chemical Bank CEO, Mr. Tom Schaefer, Kenwall Steel President, Mr. Stephen Eisenberg, President and Managing Partner of the Forbes Company, Mr. Nate Forbes, Vice Chairman of Palace Sports and Entertainment and the Detroit Pistons, Mr. Arn Tellem, Mr. Doug Height, the Managing Director of Goldman Sachs Asset Management, and Mr. Mel Stevens, Senior Vice President of the Lear Corporation. How blessed the Yeshiva is to have each of you joining the ranks of important supporters and luminaries of the Yeshiva. Thank you to each of you. At our dais tonight, we welcome from New York City the International Chairman of Agudath Israel and one of the historic leaders of the American Jewish community, Mr. Sal Werdiger, CEO of Outer Stuff Limited. Sal, thank you for making the special effort to be here tonight and for your dear friendship. To past Yeshiva dinner honorees with us in the ballroom this evening, the who's who of the historic Yeshiva leadership and support, Judge Avron Cohn, Mr. Gary Schiffman, Mr. Harold Beznos, Mr. Larry Wolf, Mrs. Ann Newman, Mr. Peter Cummings, Mrs. Lois Schiffman, Mrs. Miriam and Mr. Fred Ferber, Dr. George Dean, Mr. Ron Klein, Doctors Linda and Conrad Giles, Mr. David Provost, our new guardian, Mr. Arthur Weiss. The Yeshiva could not be more honored or grateful for your lifetime of service and devotion. We truly appreciate all of you. To one of the great supporters of the Yeshiva, our dear friend, Mr. Mickey Shapiro. This year, Mickey and his family suffered the tragic loss of their dear father and one of the remarkable men of our generation, Mr. Asa Shapiro. Mickey was an extremely devoted son to his exceptional father, and we hope and pray that Mr. Shapiro's memory will be an everlasting blessing for the entire Shapiro family and for our community. Thank you, Mickey, for everything you do for the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah, for our entire community, and for your lifetime of service to the Yeshiva. To our dear friends Nancy and Jim Grossfeld, how remarkably fortunate the Yeshiva and our community are for the critical mark you have made on the Jewish and general community. You teach all of us what it means to give with a full heart, a most generous spirit, and with an extremely modest and humble public persona. Thank you both very much. To Mrs. Alice Berlin, you and your late husband Marvin Berlin of blessed memory are and continue to be the gold standard of what it means to be a pillar of Jewish education. Our gratitude is never ending, both for your lifetime of support and for encouraging your son Max to take up a critical and essential role in the leadership of the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah. To Rabbi Yitzchak Grossbard, the dean of the Yeshiva, who today leads a most incredible team of administrators, rabbeim, teachers, and staff, whose dedication and efforts to inspire every child enrolled in the Yeshiva is legendary and remarkable. As one example of this incredible dedication, we salute tonight long-standing Yeshiva teacher, Mrs. Bracha Hachheiser, who is this year's national recipient. Bracha was the national recipient of the Grinspoon Award for Excellence in Education. We are eternally appreciative to you and to all of our incredible rabbeim and teachers for all they do for the children of the Yeshiva. To our dear friend Dan Lepp, CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield, Dan is a past honoree of this dinner and has been a remarkable and consistent friend and a supporter of the Yeshiva year in and year out with an incredibly generous heart. We are truly grateful for your generosity, your friendship, and your leadership in promoting the good health of the citizens of our state and for all you do for us. We are extremely honored to have with us tonight the legendary University of Michigan football coach, Mr. Lloyd Carr. who is at our dinner for the first time. We are so pleased to have you with us as a new friend of the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah and for everything that you continue to do for us and for our state. To the esteemed Speaker of the Michigan House of Representatives, Mr. Tom Leonard, who at an extremely young age has become a critical force in the leadership of our state's legislature. We thank you for being here with us tonight and for all of your efforts on behalf of Michigan's residents and all of its citizens. Thank you, Tom. To our congressional delegation at our dais and in our audience tonight, the Honorable Debbie Dingell, the Honorable Brenda Lawrence, the Honorable Sander Levin, the Honorable Dan Kildee, the Honorable Mike Bishop, the Honorable David Trott, and the Honorable Fred Upton. You are truly amongst our country's most devoted leaders. We are so grateful for your time and attendance here tonight and for all you do for the United States of America. Thank you all. To our good friend, the esteemed and longtime leader of the NAACP, the Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony. Reverend Anthony, thank you for gracing our dais and for being such a wonderful friend of our community and of our yeshiva. Your leadership and your dedication are legendary both in Detroit and across our country. Thank you for being here, for being such a good and dear champion of the rights and privileges of all citizens, and for being such a good personal friend. Thank you, Reverend Anthony. To Marion McClellan and Ken Syver, the mayors of our host cities of Oak Park and Southfield at our dais. Thank you for making our campuses and activities such a vital and respected part of each of your communities. We truly appreciate both of your leaderships. Thank you. To our Federation executive, Mr. Scott Kaufman, and our newly elected president at our dais for the first time tonight, Mrs. Beverly Liss. How grateful we are for your incredible support and leadership and for all you and our fantastic federation do for the yeshiva and the cause of Jewish education. And Beverly, we are pleased to welcome your husband, Arthur, the new first gentleman of our Jewish community, an esteemed and consistent participant in our Tuesday night Partners in Torah program. Thank you, and we're so glad to have both of you with us. To the dynamic and devoted Wayne State University President Roy Wilson with us at our dais tonight. President Wilson, thank you for all you are doing to promote educational excellence, both at Wayne State and throughout our state of Michigan, and for all you do and for being such a good friend and a dynamic Detroit leader. We are also pleased to welcome your new Dean of the Wayne State University School of Law here with us tonight, Professor Richard Biersbach. We wish you the best of luck in your new responsibilities, and we are thrilled to have you in Detroit. Exactly 1 hour before this dinner began, over 300 members of the Weiss Detroit Partners in Torah Learning Program gathered here at the Marriott Hotel to study Torah, as they do week after week as part of our Tuesday night Partners Learning Cohort. What a sight it was to behold, to see this remarkable outpouring of Torah study taking place just prior to our dinner festivities. Thank you to each of you and your dedicated partner staff for making this great effort to inspire so many. With over 1,000 students enrolled in the yeshiva this year, our institution is experiencing historic growth, which has necessitated a continuing examination of all of our physical facilities. Just 3 years ago, we completed a new state-of-the-art 60,000 square foot building, which houses our preschool and girls' high school. Our newest facility, which is under construction at our Southfield Newman Boys campus, will house our Yeshiva Boys Division, our Scholars Kollel, our Weiss Family Partners Detroit Community Learning Program, and all of our administrative offices. We are thrilled that this state-of-the-art facility will once again bear the esteemed names of one of our community's most dedicated and devoted leaders, Lois and the late Milton Schiffman of blessed memory. The Schiffman family has made Jewish education their highest charitable priority, and the yeshiva is a tremendous beneficiary of their extraordinary vision. Gary Schiffman at our dais. kindly accept on behalf of your mother and your entire family a small token of the Yeshiva's tremendous gratitude for all you have done and continue to do for the children of the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah. We look forward with great anticipation to the grand opening of this, the Yeshiva Beth Yehudah Milton and Lois Schiffman Boys Building in the spring of 2018. Gary. Finally, tonight, we have the immense privilege of bestowing the Yeshiva's highest honor, the Outstanding Leadership Award, to one of our nation's most extraordinary corporate leaders, the Lear Corporation's CEO, my good friend, Mr. Matt Simoncini. The Lear Corporation statistics are incredible. Over 156,000 employees operating in 38 countries worldwide with over $20 billion in sales annually. When our generations, the American dream stories are recorded, Matt Simoncini will surely be at the top of that list. Matt was born and raised on the streets of Detroit to first-generation Italian Americans. Matt was the first in his family to attend college. His parents were Matt's heroes and role models and inspired nearly every decision in his life. Matt's mother was the loving and inspiring matriarch who saw only the good in her children. When Matt struggled to get through first grade, his mom assured him he was the smartest and most handsome first grader anywhere. Matt's dad, a cement contractor, demanded from Matt a core of excellence in hard work and service. His dream for Matt was that Matt should be a teacher and a coach. And he was, as Matt described it, sorely disappointed with Matt's choice of a leadership role in corporate America. It's true. He wanted Matt to be a maker of men through teaching and coaching and mentoring. After meeting the men and women who surround Matt at the Lear Corporation, I can tell you he is undoubtedly living up to all of the dreams and hopes of his father. Matt is the ultimate coach and teacher. He is a master of human relations and a beloved corporate leader in every sense of the word. He is a humble, generous, and compassionate human being with a heart of gold and an unmatched generosity of spirits. His parents would be incredibly proud of the man and leader that Matt has become. As Matt has risen to the top echelons of corporate leadership, he has lived up to every ideal engendered and dreamed of by his beloved parents. Matt's wife, Mona, his prom date and high school sweetheart, has been at his side through every success Matt has achieved, and together they have raised a proud and wonderful and loving daughter, Sydney, who too has learned the Simoncini lessons of kindness and humanity, and who is with us tonight. On a very personal note, although I have only known Matt for a good number of years, I have rarely met a more incredible, sincere, kind, and humble individual. He ascribes every personal success to those who have lifted and guided him throughout his life and career. Matt Simoncini is the epitome of a mensch. Please give your attention for a very brief moment to the video screens around the ballroom to see a little bit about Matt Simoncini. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my tremendous honor and privilege to present the 2017 Outstanding Leadership Award to our good friend, Mr. Matt Simoncini. Jim, could you give him the clap or take a photo?